try to write about, I try to memorize about 30 of these, 30 adages. 이런 거, 뭐 saying of the day, 뭐 이런 거, 뭐 dictionary.com 이런 데 들어가면 다 나오거든요. Try to memorize about. So there are like really 자주 나오는 이런 토픽들이 있잖아요. 뭐 예를 들어 originality, community versus individuals, what is it, lying, like personal dignity, 뭐 이런 거에 대한 there are like these topics, right? 근데 그런 major한 토픽들이 있으니까 그런 major 토픽들을 위주로 생각나는 adag이나 saying 같은 거를 famous sayings related to 뭐 예를 들어 famous sayings about something이라고 구글에 치면은 like there will be hundreds of pages about on that topic. 그래서 그런 거에 30개 정도는 줄여서 외우도록 하세요. Which in that case would be a perfect way to start the essay. Okay? And the second line that you usually do is to relate this hook to the prompt. So, what did I say? As Herman Melville said, it is better to fail in originality. So I say in the second sentence, based on Melville's assertions, a poor work of originality has higher value than a work of imitation. 이런 식으로 해서 you relate to the prompt and kind of introduce your side. 이런 식으로 가면 되겠죠. And then in the third line, I wrote, to promote pure originality, we should encourage ourselves to create new works and concepts regardless of the fields. So you extend your side. So you introduce your side and state in a much more stronger sense. It's not so. If in the second sentence you said because Herman Melville said this, this must be true. In your third sentence you should say, okay, I believe in this way. I believe that this is true, not because of Herman Melville, but because of your own ideas. And in the fourth line, of course, you wanna in the fourth and the fifth lines, you usually write two examples, right? So you want to introduce your examples inside the body. Okay, so for example, I wrote about Pablo Picasso and George Orwell for my examples. So I wrote respected names such as Pablo Picasso and George Orwell painstakingly emphasize pure originality on their works to express their thoughts and emotions. And then I also wrote Pablo Picasso, an artist who created an art movement of modern art, and George Orwell, an author with a resistant spirit, are examples of why originality should be praised. So within you're introducing your examples, at the very end you can say they emphasize those kind of originality. Emphasis on yourself. Should be your these are the 5 sentences that you want to write for your introduction.
Introduce example 2 sentences.
Because you write two examples. So 예를 들어 you want to write, so you have to write 2 body paragraphs, right? 그러니까 what does introduction do? Introduce your whole essay, right? 그래서 그 다음에 네가 전체적인 에세이에 쓸 거를 네가 강조를 해야 되는 부분인 거잖아. So that's why you want to introduce your bodies. This is what you'll be talking about. 그래서 you want to write about a couple sentences about your examples.
그리고 3번 extend your site가 그 설명하는 거예요.
뭐 예를 들어서 in the second sentence, so as Herman Melville said, it is better to fail in originality rather to success in imitation. 이렇게 썼다면은 in your third sentence you want to write, okay, so not because of Herman Melville 때문에 내가 이렇게 생각을 하는 게 아니라 you want to write your status one more time. So thus it is quite important to promote our originality rather than try to imitate others in order to reach eventual success later on. 이런 식으로 해서 you want to write your stance one more time. The second sentence is 앞에 나왔던 흙이랑 연관돼서 썼다면은 third sentence에는 너 자신만의 그런 사이드를 나타내는 거지. So can I erase this to go into the body? So in the body, what do? You do nothing much, but write about your example. When writing bodies, people have different styles. Some people say, okay, in the very first sentence, you write your stance. This is not mine. But you write your stance. You give example. And then you write your stance. Thus, we should pursue originality. But then the problem that comes out when you write your stance twice in your body paragraph, in your single body paragraph, is the problem of redundancy. People tend to use the same words over and over again. You don't want to use those same kind of words over and over again. So what you want to do is, what I usually did was erase this part. So I don't introduce my stance at the very beginning of my essay. Instead, I started with, on my essay, I started with a Spanish virtuoso, Pablo Picasso, opened a new gateway to 20th century modern arts. His renowned masterpiece, Young Ladies of Avignon, is recognized as the beginning of modern arts. Unlike conventional artists who depicted things realistically as if taking photographs, Picasso depicted things. Picasso loaded his emotion and ideas onto canvas using original style called Cubism, which was an early 20th century art style dealing with the paintings and sculpting of objects represented by geometric forms. So what did I say? I wrote that Pablo Picasso reached success in an unconventional way using his own original style. So I go into my example straight away. That's what I usually do, because at most, what I see from students is that not a lot of students know a lot of synonyms. So even in saying that you want to pursue those kind of originality, people tend to use the same words over and over again. But it is not okay to use the same words over and over again, especially in SAT essays, because you don't want to redundantly say the same thing over and over again. Then the essay readers will also find this very, very boring. So you first start off with giving the example, and then at the very end of the essay, I would write my stance one more time. So I said, such attempts and their originality are what define Picasso as a true maestro of the 20th century. So I introduced my stance at the very end. So by pursuing those kind of originality, he became a true. He created true masterpieces, and he was a virtuoso of the 20th century.
만약에 스탠스를 처음에 쓴다고 해도 마지막에는 스탠스를 쓰는 게 좋아요.
마지막에는 스탠스를 쓰는 게 가장 좋지. 왜냐면은 it emphasizes it. 처음에 쓰는 건 왜냐면 이게 가장 안 좋은 점이 뭐냐면 introduction에서 너의 스탠스에 대해서 계속 말하고 있었잖아. And then you write your stance again, then the reader kind of feels this kind of redundancy over and over again. Like he or she might think that, okay, I'm reading the same thing again and again. I don't really like this essay. So what I usually do is give examples, which is something very different from what others would do, and then move on to my stance, and then finish my body paragraph. And in your bodies, you do have to prepare for your own examples. You guys do know that. 그래서 example 같은 거는 나 같은 경우에는 한 4명에서 5명 정도 인물 사람. People I did was Rachel Carson, George Orwell, Pablo Picasso, Mahatma Gandhi. And I think I included one scientist. The reason I chose these people was this person is related to natural science, this person is related to literature, this person is related to art, and this person is related to humanity. So I would want you guys to choose different people from different fields. You don't want to choose the same people from the same field, because at the very end, you guys will be seeing the same thing inside the same field. So to increase diversity within your essay, you want to include these kind of different examples from different fields. So this is what I would tell you guys to do. And to prepare for these examples, what I tell people to do is write a one-page biography of these people. I don't want you to guys copy it off from Wikipedia or like other internet pages, but I would want you to guys to read those pages and write it in your own words. Write a biography in your own words, because you will be using those same kind of expressions in your essay straight off from your whatever you read for your biography. And then I would want you to guys to read it at least 10 or 20 times per every page. 그러면 of course you will be knowing those expressions. 너네들이 니네 손으로 쓴 거니까 그 expression들이 좀 더 손에 있겠지. 나중에 쓸 때가 되더라도. 그래서 그런 expression들을 그대로 쓸 수 있게끔 너네들이 이런 것들을 좀 외웠으면 after writing your text. And so 그 다음에 writing your body paragraph wouldn't be so hard after.